Let's see a bit further on this, and lots of you have been reacting to this. Speaker Ben Boakye, Executive Director of the Africa Center for Energy Policy, joins me on the telephone. Mr. Boakye, good evening to you. Now, you've heard the LPG marketers making a projection that by June we'll be paying a double for what we're even paying now for LPG. Is that a projection you share?
Yeah, I mean, it's the projections are based on assumptions, right? So if those assumptions are realized, then of course you would have the price go up that much. But we can hope that it doesn't get to that extent. So I think they are looking at the exchange rate and also the geopolitical troubles that we have in the east of Europe. So if the war continues and there's pressure on demand, then of course you have international price go up. And if our city is also remains unstable, that could also, exert a lot more pressure on us. But we're hoping that OPEC and other strong producers could step in, and also with the big consumers like the U.S. stepping in to release some reserves into the market, we may not have price escalate, for which we may be saved from this doubling that is projected. But much, of course, will depend on how the local currency is managed. If the international community is able to save the situation to freeze price, then we will have to do our own to also ensure that the city is stabilized.
Well, clearly, we've seen the city depreciate over the period of the last 3 weeks gone by, and the projections obviously raises concern. But how about the taxes and levies on the LPG price build-up as well? Because the LPG marketers are saying that government should consider either reducing some of the taxes and levies on there or scrapping them entirely.
No, I think that is a good call. We have always been against taxes on LPG. We never had it until, we didn't have that much tax until, I think, 2015 when we did a major review. And at the time, international oil price was favorable. So when they introduced the taxes, it didn't really impact on the bottom line of the consumer that much. And it has been kept since then. And the reality is that if you keep LPG that expensive, you are not going to grow the demand. And given that it is also a fuel that we've been promoting to get the poor to switch, if we keep it that high, you're not going to get consumer shifting to use it and to save the environment. Because in Ghana, a lot of places, if you take out Accra, Kumasi, Takoradi, the average use of wood fuel is around 80%. All right. So what that means is that all the other regions are extensively using wood fuel and charcoal, and that is something we have to discourage. And to be able to discourage that, then you need to have an alternative that people can afford to be able to do that. But policy is not addressing that concern, and therefore you only have Accra. And if you look at even Accra trend, it's just because the inconvenience of Accra living in a house that makes it difficult for you to even use charcoal or wood fuel. People are compelled to use LPG. Other than that, we will probably see much more drastic shift to wood fuel and charcoal than we are seeing today. So policy has to address that to ensure that we can switch from wood fuel and charcoal to LPG. And in the sub-region, Ghana taxes more on these fuels, and therefore we have to have a look at it if we really want to promote the use of LPG rather than wood fuel and charcoal. If you check the statistics also, I mean, a lot of our carbon footprint as a country is coming from wood fuel, which about a quarter of our pollution comes from charcoal, and more than a quarter, I should say, comes from charcoal and wood fuel consumption. In the north, some regions are doing as much as 94% of cooking with charcoal and wood fuel, and that is not something we need to encourage. And there's only policy that can address that. And the more we tax LPG, it's too repulsive for people to switch to LPG.
To this. Mr. Boakye, I thank you very much. Ben Boakye is the Executive Director of the Africa Center for Energy Policy, ACEP.